Progesterone is anti all of the bad guys. Everything you don't want is what progesterone will help you from getting. It'll stop it from happening. Just so you know, and you should be aware of it, progesterone is anti every single thing that you don't, everything on that list, whatever that list is, arthritis, immune system disorders, this kind of autoimmune condition, that kind of a thing, this other kind of stroke problem, heart disease, every kind of cancer in the book, not just hormonal cancers. Progesterone inhibits it. Progesterone cream is a big deal. It's a really big deal. And it's like one of those things, like progesterone babies. Women who are using progesterone cream half the days of the month, like 14 days of the month, while they're pregnant, have smarter and healthier babies. 90 years of research. That's a lot of research. So if it's healthy for a mother when she's pregnant with a baby, do you think it'd be good for you? Look into it. Start digging into it, and you'll find out. And this has definitely been something that's been, they don't want that out there at all, whoever they are, whatever that means. Them. Men. Can a man use progesterone cream? And the answer is yes. Not as much as a woman, but a man converts it over into testosterone, and it's good. It's androgenic for a man as long as it's like three days a week or 3 days a month. So a woman 14 days a month, a man 3 days a month. It's good, especially as you age. And again, progesterone is one of the things that makes the woman's brain work differently from a man. We live in this kind of an age. Okay, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Okay, I gotta get my post up. Here, let me do my Instagram right here. Blank. Instagram. All of those things that once the multitasking woman's brain, our world today is designed more as a multitasking type of environment. In the old days, the man could get up and go to work and do whatever. Meanwhile, a woman's like handling the phone, getting the groceries, dealing with the kids, running around over here, dealing with whatever kind of errands have to be done. But the man just gets up, goes to work, does the job, whatever it is. Men can't get away with that anymore. If you cannot multitask, it's like you're out to lunch. So our world today, this is that whole thing about the female dominance coming, is that our world today is more organized for a woman's brain of multitasking all the different things at once. Progesterone is the hormone that makes that happen. So if you want to be more of a woman and have more of a woman's brain, progesterone does that. It'll make that happen so you can multitask easier and track different things. Again, that's going to be something that Dr. Amen's going to come up here and teach us all about, is unleashing the power of the female brain. Because a female's brain works different than a man's brain. Okay, let's jump back to this. So what we want to do at all times is always be aware that there are certain things that can inhibit our good hormones from becoming bad. And as we age, because it's a little bit more difficult to produce good hormones with age than it is when we're younger, this becomes more and more and more important when we get to 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, 110, 120, 130, 150, 180, etc. So it's possible that we're going to see some pretty amazing things in our lifetime in regards to longevity. In the meantime, we've got to use the tools that we have at our access right now, which are extraordinarily vast and potent, but we've got to actually use them. And here's some of the great tools right here. Passion flower alcohol tincture. Because the chrysin, the aromatase inhibitor, is alcohol soluble. Remember, I was playing around with Herb Farms product. I've used a lot of Herb Farms products over the years. But that particular one with the passion flower is stronger in alcohol, noticeably stronger. And I was like, and I kept testing it back and forth and just be like, what's going on? And then I realized, oh, wait, they know. Who's ever formulating for them knows that if the stronger the alcohol, the more that stuff's going to go in without being digested, and the more you're going to get that natural aromatase inhibition. That's interesting. Chamomile tea, apigenin. That's an extraordinary natural aromatase inhibitor. Chamomile is an amazing tea just in general, isn't it? Isn't it nice? When you're 20, you're not on chamomile tea, but when you're like 60, you're like, okay, let's have a nice chamomile tea. Calm everything down, right? And just like a nice evening thing. And it actually has great longevity properties. It's a natural aromatase inhibitor. Now we get into the big ones. Now we get into the ones where the real action is happening. Stuff's got me inspired massively. Resveratrol. What's in wine? Resveratrol's half-life is 3 to 4 hours. So when it's delivered in the form of an alcohol in wine or a port wine, or when you start getting to the original, this is crazy. I had this thought. I was like, I wonder what the wines were like with Greek and Roman times, because they're probably nothing like the wines we have today. I immediately am at a show, and this guy's like, this is organic wine from Cyprus, and this is made the original way the Greeks and Romans made it. It was like right in front of me, and instantly I'm like, okay, I'll have a sip of that. So I taste it, I'm like, whoa, it's like raisins. It's like raisins, tastes like raisins. I was like, this is raisins, what is this? It was unlike anything I've ever had. And I'm not a drinker, I don't drink. But it was like that was put in front of me. I was like, okay, that's the resveratrol wine. The high phenolic wine. The dark wines like port, like original Greek and Roman wines, that's the stuff that has it. And because it's an alcohol, it gets delivered. And what it does, what resveratrol does is it inhibits every single development of every disease condition almost known. From metabolic syndrome all the way up to the full-blown breakdown of cells. It inhibits nuclear factor kappa beta. You guys know about nuclear factor kappa beta? Well, you've probably heard of this. As soon as someone gets into a serious immunological disorder, and what's actually happening underneath it is the nuclear factor kappa beta gets triggered, the whole body starts breaking down. They go from being well to all of a sudden they're flat on their back and they're going down with cancer in 3 weeks. That's nuclear factor kappa beta. As soon as that gets triggered, person's done for. Resveratrol suppresses it. And it's the great suppressor of it. And it's something you feel. If you do enough resveratrol that's actually bioactive, most of it doesn't make it to the cells. If you take like powders of resveratrol, it doesn't make it. It bounces. It's not going to make it. You actually have to have it concentrated and delivered liquid, or it's got to come in a delivery vehicle like chocolate that can really actually get it there, or it's got to come in wine, an alcohol, or it's not going to make it in there. And when you feel what it does, you're like, okay, I get it now. Because you can feel there's a certain like barrier that's put in place, and it won't allow your metabolism to drop below that barrier. There's cellular metabolism. By the way, resveratrol is a polyphenol. And there's a number of interesting polyphenols. Quercetin is a polyphenol like that. It's like a prenylated chalcone. It's a prenyl flavonoid. And then there's another big one, which is that one. You seen the Longevity Bliss chocolate bar? Where is that chocolate bar? Man, we got to give those away. So I had a scientist come to Sacred Chocolate, and he starts laying it down on this whole compound right here. So I researched it for 6 months. I got into this compound, the prenylated chalcones that are in hops. This is even more powerful than resveratrol. What this is and what's happening and where this is going, and this is exactly what I asked him after 6 months of research. I said, this is heading somewhere where resveratrol, we know what the chemical structure is, and it triggers off all these enormously positive reactions that preserve health, especially with longevity and old age. Now we've got something that's very chemically related to resveratrol, and quercetin. By the way, quercetin has the same types of properties as resveratrol has, and it triggers off all these things, but pretty soon we're going to land right on the button.